Greetings. Peace be with you. So, what would your life look like if you were able to let go of everything and everyone that doesn't serve you? Such an important question, because when I look back at my own journey of growth, of evolution, of looking at where I was at a point where I was hopeless, I was helpless, I was stuck in a cycle of destructive habits. I didn't know if I was ever going to get out of them. And looking to where I am right now, so much of growth, evolution, development is about letting go, right? Letting go of everything that doesn't serve us, the habits, the behaviors, the activities, right? And yet we continue to engage in them. And letting go is the key to rising in our growth, like I said, but it really applies on two different dimensions, and I want to share that with you in this video, right? So the first dimension really is about letting go of the habits, the behaviors, the activities that don't serve you, right? And why is it so difficult to break out of them? Because at this point, like, you're watching this video right now, this is not the first video you're watching. You have been on the personal development journey, you have been consuming the information, but just the struggle which I see coming up again and again, not only in the people that I work with, but in myself as well, is like, we already know everything. Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to be watching 5 hours of Netflix. Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to be browsing video after video after video on YouTube. I know that I'm not supposed to be binging on alcohol when the weekend comes around. But why is it that we tend to engage in it, right? So this really comes down to running an audit of why we do what we do, right? Because so many times when we are caught in that cycle of destructive behavior patterns that aren't serving the highest expression of who we are at the core, it really comes down to why, right? So the reality is that, based on my research, experimentation, experience, and coming across the work of Gabor Mate, who is in his 70s, he's been working on research and addiction, what causes people to be addicted, right? And just for some definition, like, an addiction is any behavior that you tend to engage in even though it's not serving your well-being, right? Even though it feels good in the moment, it's something that destroys your well-being overall, right? And another definition is the things that we love that don't love us back, right? So what he came to the conclusion after running through, I think he's worked with thousands of clients, he's run a lot of studies, and he says that the root cause of addiction is unaddressed emotional trauma, right? And when we are holding on to emotions like shame, like guilt, like fear, like anxiety, like desire, like any of those low vibration emotions, then we're holding on to them, right? What if we could let them go? It's easier said than done, for sure. But when we are holding on to them and we feel a particular way and we don't want to experience that way, that ends up becoming a trigger for us to go down the path of engaging in a destructive behavior pattern. Let's say you feel a bit uncomfortable, you feel like you need something, you feel like you're incomplete, and that is the moment where so many of us, when we feel that, we go down the path of binging on food, binging on cigarettes, binging on weed, binging on alcohol, doing things that we know aren't serving us because we're escaping how we felt before. Okay, I really hope you catch the nuance over here, because anytime that we feel this low frequency emotion and we go down the path, we're like, I don't want to feel this anymore, so I'm going to go and engage in this behavior that makes me escape how I feel. But when you escape how you feel is when you hold on to how you feel, right? When you escape how you feel is when you hold on to how you feel. When you suppress how you feel, right? By just, I'm not going to think about this anymore. Or when you repress how you feel, right? I'm just going to put this in the backdrop right now. Then you are literally holding on, and we end up creating the space for that habit to keep repeating, keep repeating, keep repeating. On the other hand, if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel like, something is uneasy, if you feel incomplete, what if you could just sit with that feeling and allow yourself to experience it fully, accept it, what you're feeling right now. Just sit there with that feeling, right? 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. This is why so many of us have problems and difficulties just sitting with ourselves in our space of silence and just sitting with our own thoughts, our own emotions, our own feelings. And it feels so uncomfortable sometimes, okay? If you just sit with yourself for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever you think is necessary for you right now. Just sit and see what comes up. And it's going to be very uncomfortable at first if you've never done this. Just sit with that feeling. And once you sit with it and allow yourself to experience it and allow yourself to accept it, that is when you let it go. Just fully experiencing it so that you can allow the energy behind it to let go, right? Emotions are energy in motion. And when we hold on to energies, aka emotions that aren't serving us, then we tend to go down this path of destructive behavior patterns whereby we escape how we feel. But like I said, when we escape how we feel is when we hold on to how we feel and therefore continue to go down that path, right? So if you just develop this practice of sitting with yourself, eventually it's going to be so calm and so peaceful. But if you haven't done this and you just sit with yourself and you just let it be and you allow yourself to accept whatever is and you allow the energy behind that emotion to run out, then you can let it go and you can let go of the behaviors that follow that suit as well. Okay, so that's like the level of habits, that's the level of behavior patterns. And once we can let go of the behavior patterns that don't serve us, that is what then creates the space for us to continue leveling up and evolving in our journey, because we aren't allowing those destructive behavior patterns to come in, because they are no longer a coping mechanism for how we feel inside, and that can allow us to let go of that unaddressed emotional trauma. Okay, journaling is a great one. Just like anytime you feel those toxic emotions or you feel the need to go and indulge in a destructive behavior pattern, just free flow of consciousness, writing it down, just letting it all out. And once you let it go, it's like literally digesting it, metabolizing it, getting an objective awareness of it so that it no longer owns you. It's out of you and it's onto the paper, right? Breath work is another great one. We're just doing breath work. I can link out to a YouTube playlist below. I do Wim Hof breathing as well, but basically Wim Hof breathing extended to like an hour, and you just let go of a lot of stuff, and then you come out clean, you come out pure, and then you can go on and express who you are here to be, right? So important. And now the second dimension of letting go is that of letting go of our desire to get an outcome. Okay, you want to develop a deep, passionate, loving relationship. That's amazing. But the more you are attached to getting a particular girl, the more you are attached and the more you are chasing, the more you are needy, the more you become repellent to the very thing that you want, right? Same thing applies on every single dimension. Any goal that you intend to achieve, whether it's generating more income, whether it's getting into a relationship, whether it is developing a good body, whatever it is that you intend to achieve, the more that you attach yourself to the outcome. I really need this outcome. I really need to achieve this result. The more you are attached to it, the more you are vibrating at the frequency of not having it, right? Because if you really want something, it's like, yeah, you really want something, okay, the world's just going to give you who you are. You really want something, so I'm just going to keep giving you the circumstances, situations, and experiences that reinforce the cycle of you really wanting something, right? This is what they call a self-fulfilling prophecy. Everything is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and when we are attached to achieving a certain outcome is increasing our likelihood of not getting that outcome at all. Okay, the more you chase, the more you repel. The more you can let go of your desire to get the outcome, right? You focus on the action, you focus on the process, you focus on what you can do right here, right now to take you one step towards that outcome. But you don't need that outcome to feel whole and complete. You are already whole and complete, because then again, it becomes something where you're escaping how you feel. You're like, if I get the money, then I'll feel good about myself. If I get the girl, I'm going to feel good about myself. If I get the body, I'm going to feel good about myself. What if we flip that on its head and we already feel good about ourselves? We love ourselves. We treat ourselves with all due respect. And then we go on and do what we're going to do anyway, right? We can do the same thing, but the energy, the intention behind that is what makes all the difference. Okay, I hope you catch the nuance over here. This is a teaching that has been coming down through the Eastern traditions. This is something that has been coming down through, even the modern psychology movement, telling us that the more that we want something, the more likely we are not to have it, because it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy at the end of the day, right? That's what they call it in psychology as well. So we can let go of our need, right? If we can let go of our neediness to achieve a certain outcome and focus on the process, then the outcome will manifest as a natural byproduct of that. Okay, so letting go of the unaddressed emotional trauma that is making us engage in destructive behavior and patterns, and letting go of our neediness to achieve a certain outcome. If we can do those two things, then in my experience, in my experience of working with guys as well, it just really accelerates the whole process, and it makes it fun, because it's like we get trapped in that ideology that, oh, if I get X, then I will be happy. Then you get X and you're not happy, and then it's on to the next thing, and you're on that hedonic treadmill. But if you can really understand that you are whole and complete as you are right here, right now, this is a process that I work on every single day. This is a process that I have to wake myself up to every single day. This is not something that comes naturally to me. But as we make this a practice, then we can really elevate ourselves and really follow through with our habits, our behaviors, our rituals, from the perspective that, yes, I love myself. This is why I'm doing it, rather than if I do it, then I love myself, okay? And if I get the result, then I'll be good. If I don't, then I'm going to hate myself, right? And that just becomes a very loose foundation, and it doesn't serve anyone at the end of the day, because you don't get the result. You feel bad about yourself. You feel bad about yourself. The people around you won't have the fullest experience of who you really are as well. So we can just let go. Things would really become that much more smoother. We would become that much more high vibrational, and the results that we want would flow as a natural byproduct of that as well. Okay, so just a message for you as I'm taking a walk over here in nature, and just something that came to mind. I wanted to get it out, for my own expression, so I can embody this deeper, because all the stuff that I'm making on this channel is like stuff that I continue to practice on. It's not any final destination that we reach and we have it all figured out, at least at this level of my evolution. I don't think so, right? I just think there are more or less enlightened moments rather than enlightened beings, but that's just me at my immature level of evolution, I suppose. Maybe at a different level I will share something different with you in that regard, right? So with that, I'll conclude today's video. Leave a comment below letting me know the one thing you are going to let go of after watching this video, so that this is not just another mental masturbation, so that you actually follow through on what you say you're gonna do. Okay, leave a comment below, subscribe if you have not already, click the like button if you like it. It really helps the channel grow. But I will leave you in the peace and power of the one infinite creator, and I will catch you in the next one. Much love to you. Take care.